Hey everybody, what's going on? Eric here with Switch Adapted Toys, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to adapt the Fischer Price Rollin Rovee. Haven't done this toy yet, so this is going to be kind of a figure it out as we go along. Maybe you'll get a little insight into how we go about adapting toys. If you like this content, please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. It really does help us out in achieving our goal of making play possible for everybody. So without further ado, let's get into it. First thing we're going to need to do is unscrew all the screws in the back of the toy. Alright, so now that we've got all the screws off, unscrewed, we can go ahead and remove the back panel. And we can remove the top of his head here. Alright, so on top of the toy you can see that there's these two circuit boards here, and they actually both do the same thing. So when the head is pressed, the little notches on there push down on either one of those buttons, but they do the exact same thing. So we don't need to adapt both of them, we just need to adapt one, which is great. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to solder our wires directly to where the wires on this button are attached. So either right here or right there. Now, looking at this toy, there's a lot of gears and mechanisms kind of on this half of the toy, but not so much in the front. So I'm thinking that if we solder to these ones on this side, that will allow us to kind of have our wires here in the front of the toy, and it's less likely going to get caught up in any of these gears and cause any problems. So I'm going to adapt this button here, and we are going to drill our hole directly into the top of the head, kind of right behind his hair. Hey everybody, Eric here from the future, and like I said, I've never adapted this toy before, and I actually made a mistake right here. So you see the hair on the green section of the top of the toy. This hair should actually be facing the back of the toy, not the front of the toy like you see here. So I actually drilled my hole in the wrong place. But basically you wanted to drill the hole right about here. Now, where I drilled it actually ended up working and it was totally fine, but it'd probably just be best to drill it here instead. Alright, so next step, we need to prep our headphone jack wires. We like to buy them as splitters. That way you actually get two wires that you can use on toys for just like the price of one item. So all we need to do is we need to remove the male end of this wire. Go ahead and snip it off. You won't need it anymore. You can toss it. And so now, like I said, we've got two of these that we can use on toys. We'll just use one for this toy, and we need to remove the outside casing using a pair of wire strippers. And then you can separate all the wires. Now, if you've seen any of our videos before, you've seen us do this a bunch of times, but each one of these are a little different. Depending on how yours is laid out, you may have to connect some different wires than what we're about to do. So before you solder anything to your toy, you just want to make sure that it works before. We've used these headphone jacks many times, so I know what I need to do. But like I said, just verify that everything works before you solder. So what we need to do is, you can see that there's a white wire, a red wire, and these bare wires. We need to remove the casing on the red wire, and we need to combine the bare wires and the red wire together. Some people ask, well, why can't I just snip off one of these wires? The reason is kind of technical, but long story short is if you do that, some buttons out there may not work properly with all of your toys. For most of the time, it's going to be connect the red wire and the bare copper wires, or just leave the white wires separate, in other words. So this is good, except we've got a bunch of exposed wire here that we need to protect with a heat shrink wire cover. That will just keep it from shortening out anything in the toy if it touches it accidentally. So I've got my heat shrink wire cover. What I want to do is just kind of cut it to length. I only need just the tip of the wire exposed, so I'm not going to cover up the entire wire. And all you do is slip this on over the wire. And then you can either use a hair dryer or a heat gun to heat up this wire cover, and that will shrink it down and protect the wires. Alright, so we've got that wire set up. Now I just need to remove just the tip of the white wire, the casing of the white wire. Alright, so there we go. I've got my headphone jack wire ready to go. And now we can go ahead and fish it through the top of the head where we drilled our hole. And then we're going to use a zip tie on the inside of the toy, and we're going to tighten it up around the headphone jack wire. What that will do is basically just act like a barrier, so that if a child or somebody were to yank on this cord, it doesn't just pull the whole thing out and disconnect all of our connections. I find the smaller the zip tie tends to be the better. It tends to grip the wire a little bit better. Just slide it over, cinch it down as hard as you can. And then give it a good tug, make sure it's not going to go anywhere, and if it's good, go ahead and remove any extra zip tie. So the first thing I like to do when I go to solder is I like to get a little bit of solder on the wires themselves. That just makes it a little bit easier when I'm trying to get it onto the board, that there's just already some solder on the wire. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my soldering iron in, kind of heats up the wire, and then I'm able to kind of almost like paint on the solder onto the wire. Just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to bring my toy back in. So all we need to do now is just solder it directly to these points on the circuit board. All I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the solder that's on the wire and get it to connect to that terminal. Generally doesn't take too much. Once it cools for a second, you can kind of tug on it and just make sure that it's actually attached good. And then we can go ahead and do the other wire. Now, it doesn't matter which headphone jack wire goes to which node. It doesn't matter at all. So before we go ahead and put everything back together, it's a good time to test it and just make sure that everything works. Alright, so I got my button plugged in. I'm going to turn my toy on, and I just have placed the back of the toy kind of back into place. When I press the button, his ears are going to kind of go crazy. And I just want to make sure he's not gonna like tangle any of these wires or anything like that. So turn them on and hit my button. Alright, so everything works, so we should be good to go ahead and put everything back together. Alright, so to get the toy back together, all we're going to do is slide the top of the head back on, and then slide the back on. Make sure everything fits together nice and snug. Then we can go ahead and screw everything back together. Alright, so now that we got everything put back together, it's time to give our button one last press and just to make sure that everything works. Alright, so that's basically it. Now there are a couple things I want to talk to you about this toy. First is, it's pretty expensive. On Amazon it's about $75, which is pretty expensive for a kid's toy. We found this one secondhand, so maybe you can pick one up secondhand. That's why ours looks a little bit dirty. So a lot more affordable there. The second thing is, it can be a little problematic with the wire coming out of this toy. Because a lot of his motions are him rolling around. And you can see here that he basically just wound his cord up. And I was really worried that it was just going to yank out the connections that we just did. Now the good news is, if you have it on Smart Stage 1, he doesn't do any of that rolling around. And he just flaps his ears and kind of plays peekaboo and stuff like that. So as long as you keep it on level 1, I think it's a great toy to adapt. The problem is you're going to have to make sure that you don't have it plugged in when you're on those other levels. The nice thing about the way we adapted it is that this top button still functions as an actual button. So you could just take this off and you could still interact and play with the toy. Just keep in mind that you're going to be rolling over this cord, and you could potentially do some damage. So hopefully you got a good zip tie behind there, and just to make sure it doesn't get tangled up. But I definitely wouldn't run it with the cord plugged in on zones 2 through 4. Just keep it on zone 1. Alright, so thanks for checking out this video. Really easy toy to adapt. You can totally do it. If you found this video helpful at all, please let us know by hitting the like button. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help us out in a huge way. And if you've got a toy that you're just dying to see us adapt, leave it in the comments below and we'll look into seeing what we can do about adapting it. If you want to find out more about Switch adapted toys, you can do so on our website at www.switchtoys.org. And on our website, you can find out about Switch chapters. So if you've got a group or an organization and you want to serve your community by adapting these toys and giving away to kids in need, you can find out all about our Switch chapters on our website. And again, I'll put a link in the description below. Lastly, if this just isn't your cup of tea, don't worry, we've got you covered. We do sell pre-adapted toys on our Etsy shop, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. So again, thanks for checking out this video. My name's Eric with Switch Adapted Toys, and until next time, I'll see you.
Hi, I'm Rollin Rovee. I wave hello. Hi, I'm